When I visited the Holy Land in my previous ministry there with the friars, I had occasion to travel into the wilderness and view the small caves perched high on the mountainsides. I could easily imagine the scene in today's first reading. This text from the Hebrew Scriptures, a personal favorite of mine, has a connection to our gospel today, so permit me to suggest a gospel connection. The first reading tells of the prophet Elijah on Mount Horeb, fleeing in fear from his persecutors. He ends up hiding in a cave much like those I saw in Israel near the Dead Sea. Like you and me, Elijah may be wondering just where God is in the midst of his troubles. The prophet endures a strong wind, an earthquake, and fire, but we're told that the Lord was not in any of these. Then there is a tiny whispering sound. Elijah is savvy enough to recognize what is happening. He hides his face and stands before God. The prophet endures the dramatic display of nature only to meet God in an unexpected way. The experience resonates with so many times in life when God can surprise us. In today's gospel, the disciples of Jesus are caught in a violent storm on the Sea of Galilee. Jesus is not with them, having gone, like the prophet, to a mountaintop to pray. But then, unexpectedly, they see Jesus, like a ghostly apparition, walking toward them on the water. It's a rather dramatic experience. Commentators suggest a connection between Peter and the other disciples with Elijah in the first reading. Peter takes Jesus' invitation to walk out to him on the water, but loses heart when he begins to sink. Jesus chides Peter for his lack of faith. When the wind dies down, the disciples, like Elijah, recognize God's presence in Jesus as the Son of God. And here, I believe, is the connection. The faith Jesus was looking for was not to be found solely in the dramatic calming of the sea. It also involves taking a risk to step out of the boat in the midst of the storms of our lives, to trust that Christ is with us. Take courage, he says. It is I. Do not be afraid.